She walked on stage barefoot, holding a broken guitar. Her voice trembled when she said, "If I sing, well, will you give me a plate of food?" The judges laughed, but when she started to sing, the entire room forgot how to breathe. Los Angeles, the city of dreams and silence, under the shimmering lights and red carpets, there were alleys filled with people the world no longer saw. One of them was Naomi Brooks, a 12-year-old girl with deep brown eyes and a voice made of hope. Every night, she sat near an abandoned diner, strumming a cracked old guitar her mother left behind. Her songs were not perfect, but they were real. She sang about hunger. She sang about her mother. She sang about wanting to be heard. Naomi hadn't eaten in 2 days. Her stomach growled louder than her guitar. Still, she smiled when a few passers-by dropped coins into her box. Across the street, bright posters advertised a massive event. Microphone Star Maker Talent Show. Find the next big voice. She stopped playing and stared. The winner would get a contract and $1 million record deal. But Naomi wasn't thinking about fame. She was thinking about food. "If I sing there," she whispered to herself, "maybe they'll give me something to eat." The next morning, Naomi walked 10 blocks to the studio. She wasn't on the list. She wasn't dressed for fame. She wasn't even wearing shoes. The guards laughed when she asked to enter. "You? This is for singers, not beggars." But she refused to leave. She held her broken guitar like a shield. An assistant, feeling pity, whispered to the guard, "Let her try. What harm can a hungry kid do?" And so, she stepped inside, into a world that smelled like perfume and PowerPoint. 3 judges sat behind a sleek black table. Cameras rolled. Lights blazed. In the center, a microphone waited, taller than Naomi herself. The first judge, Blake Turner, looked unimpressed. He was a producer known for discovering stars and destroying dreams. "Name?" he asked flatly. "Naomi Brooks." "Age?" 12. "I think." He frowned. "You think?" Naomi hesitated. "I lost count after my mom passed." The room went silent. Even Blake's pen stopped moving. He cleared his throat. "All right, what will you sing?" Naomi held her guitar close and said softly, "It's a song I wrote for people who forgot what kindness sounds like." The audience chuckled. Blake rolled his eyes. "Go ahead." Her first chord buzzed, one string out of tune. But then her voice came, pure, trembling, honest. "I don't want your money. I don't need your gold. I just want to sing, before I get too old." Her words hung in the air like prayer. Every line told a story of hunger, of loss, of courage. Cameras forgot to move. People forgot to breathe. And Blake Turner, the man who'd seen 1,000 voices, felt something break inside him. A memory, a face, a little sister he'd lost to the same streets years ago. He removed his glasses slowly, blinking back tears. When the last note faded, Naomi whispered, "Did I sing good enough for a plate of food?" The audience gasped. One woman began to cry. Blake couldn't speak. He stood up, the crowd following, and whispered, "You sang like an angel." As Naomi left the stage, she clutched the sandwich someone gave her. To her, it wasn't fame, it was kindness. But behind the stage, producers argued. This girl's story will go viral. She's raw talent. No, she's too poor, too messy for television. Blake slammed his hand on the table. Enough. She's what real music sounds like. From the corner, a man in a gray suit stepped out. Samuel Carter, the show's owner and a former music legend. He had heard everything. "Bring the girl to me," he said quietly. "I want to meet the voice that made this room human again." The world outside the studio buzzed with headlines. "Homeless girl brings judges to tears." A voice straight from heaven. "Naomi Brooks shocks Los Angeles." But Naomi didn't know any of that. She was sitting in a quiet dressing room, still holding the sandwich someone had given her, half eaten, half saved for later. Her guitar rested beside her like an old friend. The strings were cracked, one missing, yet it still carried the sound of her soul. The knock echoed on the door. "Naomi?" She looked up to see a tall man in his late 50s, suit crisp, voice calm. He smiled warmly. "I'm Samuel Carter. May I sit?" She nodded shyly. He sat across from her, placing his hands together thoughtfully. "I heard you sing," he said. "You made this entire building quiet, even the hearts that have forgotten how to feel." Naomi blinked. "Thank you, sir. I just wanted some food." Samuel smiled gently. "You wanted food. You gave the world faith." He glanced at her broken guitar. How long have you had that? My mom gave it to me, she whispered. She said, when you're sad, play something true. Samuel nodded slowly, his eyes misting. I lost someone once too. Music was the only thing that kept me breathing. They sat in silence, two souls from different worlds, connected by one sound. Samuel leaned forward. I want to help you, Naomi. I want to give you a home, an education, and the chance to sing again, not for food, but for the world. Naomi's eyes widened. Why? Because the world needs to hear what honesty sounds like again, he replied. And because I promised myself, if I ever found a voice that reminded me of my daughter, I'd never let it go unheard. Tears filled Naomi's eyes. Your daughter? Samuel nodded. She died when she was your age. I see her courage in you. Naomi bit her lip and whispered, then I'll sing for her too. Weeks passed. Samuel enrolled Naomi in a local performing arts school, hired tutors, and repaired a guitar. Not replacing it, but restoring every scratch, every mark that told her story. Blake Turner visited often, guiding her through music lessons. He never admitted it, but Naomi had changed him. He smiled more now. He listened more. Soon, Naomi's name spread like wildfire across the city. Videos of her audition hit millions of views. People called her the girl who sang for food and fed the world heart. Months later, Samuel planned a special concert. Not for ratings, not for profit, but for purpose. He called it The Sound of Hope. The stage was small, the lights soft, the crowd intimate. Naomi would sing one original song, her mother's song, for the first time in front of a live audience. Backstage, she paced nervously. What if they don't like it? She asked. Blake knelt beside her, smiling gently. Naomi, they're not coming to like it. They're coming to feel it. Samuel placed a hand on her shoulder. Go remind them what music was made for. She nodded, tears glistening but steady. The stage dimmed. A single spotlight shone down on her. Naomi stepped forward, clutching her guitar. For a moment, her voice faltered. Then she looked up. Imagine her mother, imagine Samuel's daughter, and began to sing. When the world forgets your name, sing it softly in the rain. When no one seems to care, just know I'm listening. I'm there. Every lyric trembled with truth. The crowd leaned forward, tears shimmering in every eye. When she finished, the theater erupted in applause. People stood. Some wept openly. Samuel, watching from backstage, whispered, That's her. That's my miracle. After the concert, the city couldn't stop talking about her. Music producers, record labels, TV hosts, everyone wanted Naomi Brooks. But when Samuel told her about the offers, she shook her head. I don't want to sing for money. I want to sing for people who are hungry, like I was. Samuel smiled, proud and emotional. Then we'll do it your way. He promised her something new, a foundation in her name to help homeless children learn music, eat, and dream again. Naomi called it Voices of Grace. One night, Naomi stood outside the very same diner where she used to sing for coins. This time, she wasn't holding a broken guitar. She was carrying a new one, shining but still humble. She looked up at the stars and whispered, Mom, I'm still playing something true. And the wind, almost like an echo, whispered back, You always were. Months had passed since Naomi Brooks first sang for a plate of food. Now, the girl who once slept on sidewalks stood at the edge of the biggest stage in the world, the Global Voices concert in Los Angeles. The entire event was broadcast live to millions. It wasn't a talent show anymore. It was a movement created by her and Samuel Carter to bring food, education, and music to forgotten children everywhere. The lights shimmered, the crowd roared, and Naomi closed her eyes, remembering where it all began. Backstage, she sat alone, gently tuning her restored guitar, the same one her mother gave her, now polished but still carrying every scar. Blake Turner approached quietly. He wasn't the same arrogant judge anymore. He had become like a father figure, patient, proud, humble. Big night, huh? He said, smiling. Naomi nodded. I'm nervous. He chuckled softly. Good. That means you still care. She looked up at him. What if I forget the words? Blake knelt, looked her straight in the eyes, and said, Then sing your heart, not your memory. The world doesn't need perfect songs. It needs honest ones. Naomi smiled through her nerves. Thank you for believing in me. Blake squeezed her shoulder. No, Naomi, thank you for reminding me why music matters. The announcer's voice echoed through the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Naomi Brooks. The lights dimmed. The audience fell silent. A soft golden beam followed her as she stepped onto the stage barefoot, just like her first audition, carrying the same old guitar. It wasn't about fashion or fame. It was about truth. She sat on the stool, took a deep breath, and whispered into the mic. This is for every child who ever sang to be heard, not to be famous. And then she began. Her voice rose gently, like sunlight breaking through clouds. I sang for food. You gave me a chance. I found my voice. You gave me a dance. From hunger to hope, from silence to sound. I found myself when love was found. Behind her, an orchestra joined. Strings swelling, drums soft, harmonies pure. The audience stood one by one, some crying, some smiling, all feeling something real. In the front row, Samuel Carter closed his eyes, tears streaming. Blake stood beside him, whispering, "That's not just a song, that's a prayer." After the concert, cameras flashed, fans screamed, media begged for interviews. But Naomi slipped away quietly. She found Samuel standing near the side door, looking up at the sky. "You did it," he said softly. "You changed the world tonight." Naomi shook her head, smiling gently. "No, we did. You gave me a home, a chance, and a family. I just sang the story." Samuel chuckled through tears. "I think your mom and my daughter are singing with you somewhere." Naomi hugged him tightly. "Then I'll keep singing till they can hear me from heaven." Los Angeles looked different now. Billboards no longer sold products. They sold purpose. Posters read, "Musical note, Voices of Grace, a Naomi Brooks Foundation." Every week, kids from shelters gathered there to learn music, eat, and dream again. Naomi sat among them, teaching chords and songs, laughing freely. Her fame had turned into service. Her voice into Healing Point one evening. As the sun set, Naomi sat outside her foundation, playing her mother's song softly. Children danced around her. The air was warm, glowing orange and gold. Blake and Samuel stood a few feet away, smiling. "She's become what we always needed," Samuel said. Blake nodded. A reminder that grace doesn't need a stage, just a heart. Naomi looked up, saw them, and waved. Then she sang her final verse, one last time. "Don't cry for the days you lost. Sing for the ones you still hold close. And when your voice begins to fade, love will carry your song away." The camera panned upward to the sky glowing with light, and the screen faded to black. Once, she sang for a plate of food. Now, the world listens to her song for hope, because sometimes one voice can feed millions.